Welcome to my dojo. The way of the Yasuo. You want to learn? Look no further. So Yasuo is pretty OP at the moment, so I decided to make a guide of him. He's a really good champion to climb up in bronze and silver and gold, because he's not that bad actually. Because there's a lot of champions they need to ban these days. The patch is really unbalanced in that regard. Let's get started with abilities so quickly. So the passive is pretty much has two sides, the intent and resolve. The intent means you have critical strike chance doubled by your items and runes. But your critical strikes deal less damage by 10% on basic attacks and 25% on your Q. For this thing, I actually suggest taking critical damage runes. They're really OP for Yasuo. The other part of the passive is the resolve. So this is a shield, also known as the flow shield. And once you move, you get shield. So the quick, really big tip is always to move. Always move around, so your shield will be up most of the time. This will like help you with the poke or something, you know. It's really good for diving and shit. It's really OP at the moment because the shield is so high at the later levels, like 600 or something. It doesn't make any sense. It cannot be procced by minions. Only jungle minions and champions and turrets also ignore the shield. Your first ability is Q, which is Steel Tempest, which has three actives actually. So it's pretty much a thrust, and it deals damage. It will also apply on-hit effects. It cannot be actually unaffected by cooldown reduction, so CDR won't affect the cooldown. And the third active is the most important thing, so you will get a whirlwind, and the whirlwind will enable you to use your ultimate. So with your ultimate, you have to have the enemy on airborne so you can cast the ultimate. Also, the whirlwind can critical strike. The second ability is Wind Wall, and Wind Wall has two sides once again. It has passive, which increases the flow gain of E. E is a dash, but I get to that in a second. And the other part is an active, which creates a wind on a wind wall, so to speak. And this will proc every projectile out or missile. Jinx ultimate, Jinx E, Ezreal ultimate, even Rumble ultimate, even Nami ultimate, even Brand ultimate, almost every ability in the game, and every missile. So you have to kind of, this is really situational but really strong ability. And the third ability is E, which is a dash. So you dash to enemy minions or champions, and this will deal magic damage. It has also 5 stacks, so more you dash, more bonus damage will increase, and each minion will increase 25%, or champion. And you cannot dash to one target multiple times. You have to wait till the mark goes off. The mark is 10 seconds at first level, and at last level 6 seconds. And this is the kind of thing you have to really max out second, and the wind wall you max out third. Then you have the last breath, which is your ultimate. So as I said, when enemies airborne, you're able to cast ultimate, and this can hit multiple opponents on 400 radius, and it will deal really good damage. And once the ultimate ends, you get 50% armor penetration for 15 seconds. So this is a really good damage boost for Yasuo, and it has actually 80 seconds cooldown at startup, and later ranks 30 seconds, so it's really good. Champions like Alistar, Yasuo, Blitzcrank really help with the ultimate, and Vi especially, and Trash. Everything that moves the character a bit, even Trundle E, these will trigger Yasuo's last breath. And you always need to have at least one knockup, because sometimes relying on your Q is not enough. As for the items, always start up with Doran's Shield or Doran's Blade. After that, you want to take Static Shiv, because Static Shiv proc will work with Q, but this critical damage is also nerfed by the 10% on your passive, so remember that. And also this synergizes really well with Infinity Edge, which Infinity Edge also increases the magic damage on the Static Shiv passive. And that is your third item. As for the boots, Berserker's Graves are not good item. It's a really big explanation, but I don't want to do it. I do it in another video. But always go ninja top your mercury threads, because ludicity boots are not really good because Yasuo doesn't need cooldown reduction. And as for the runes, actually let's talk about the items. I forgot. Last whisper should be the 4th item. Then you have choice for Black Cleaver or Guardian Angel or Trinity Force or Hex Drinker even. I mean Mal Virtues. And as for the runes, the pretty standard stuff: armor seals, magic per level, glyphs or flats depending you're playing top or mid, and lifesteal queens and 80 flat reds. But you can change the queens and 80 reds to critical damage. That is actually, in theory, it should be working really well. It should do so much damage once you get the first items. And as for the masteries, pretty standard stuff. I usually go offensive, get the standard stuff such as the 80 carry, so 25-3. The block talent is really good on defense tree. As for the 5% armor and MR, and some people might think that's not enough, but that's actually quite a lot. And if you like my stuff, check out my other guides, and more detailed description about how to play Yasuo is on the description below. Check it out, and see you guys later.